What really inspired me was when I actually took action. The day my father passed away, I was at school. I got the phone call to come to his house. And when I got there, he had just passed before I got there. I sat in the room with him. I remember holding his hand, holding his head, and I felt the presence of God in the room. I was sad. The first thing I did is I ran out, I cried. I thought I was prepared for it, but you're never really mentally prepared for that moment. Then I realized this was an opportunity to embrace it. I went back in, I sat with him, called the funeral home. I even helped them bring him out of the house. By doing all that, it almost felt like a passing of the guard. I am now the last person alive in that lineage, last male alive. I have a half-sister from him. The responsibility I felt to make sure that my bloodline continues on, it felt almost very like ancient times feeling. And so I knew in that moment that I had to do something drastically different with my life. I started taking my health more serious. I started losing some weight. Then when I went back to work, I just didn't feel the same. And I started looking into what can I do in my future to really live up to how building a future would look. I even did a financial audit on myself. And I realized that the track I was on, I was never going to hit the goals that I said I wanted. And then I also thought, if that's me and I'm making six figures, how many other people are in that same boat that don't even realize it? So the best way for me to honor my father and to take care of my daughter, I saw no other option but this industry. And it's funny because it's what I originally wanted to do when I went to college. And I got distracted from. So this was always the goal, and I think losing him recentered me back on my purpose. So he left a note in his Bible. It said, "A good man reads Proverbs every day." I read Proverbs every day for 3 months. I could not get out of my head of a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. My father may not have left me with a lot of money, but he left me being a present dad, which his dad wasn't. So his dad actually lived across the street from him in a big house, while his mom and him and his other brother lived in the projects. And he grew up not knowing his dad, but he could see his dad. And his biggest thing was not about money, was about being present. So I took the lesson of being a present father from him. So even though I'm divorced and I don't have all the time I want with my daughter, but when I'm with her, it's impactful. And I'm teaching her these principles. Hopefully, if everything gets executed properly, she will have the wealth and the principles, be the matriarch of her future family. My mom passed away when I was 12 years old. My dad passed away last year. I have no parents that are alive. I have no grandparents that are alive. I am the last of my bloodline. Once I realized that, and accepted it, I realized I had no choice but to be an amazing steward, provider, protector, provisioner for my daughter, to make sure that the Edwards name continues. Although it's very painful recognizing that, it's also very freeing. There's not an opinion on earth that I care about anymore. I get to live my life with purpose, with intention, and without the choice of anything but success. So there's no option for me. I burn the boats. Imagine if you were the last of yours. That same fire is how I really want people to start looking at their life, because tomorrow's not promised. Anything can happen. And what I thought was the biggest tragedy ended up being a lifetime full of wisdom before I turned 40 years old. That I now have every day is an opportunity to share that with other people so that they can have that same mindset of intentionality and living with purpose.